And after axial skeleton, if you move to another kind of skeleton, which is actually appendix-like skeleton, that's an appendicular skeleton that is attached to axial skeleton, which is moreover required for locomotion, movement, and etc. That part of a skeleton actually is a skeleton that can move, that can help organisms locomote, that can make organism able to perform different kind of functions. But that kind of skeleton actually is consisting of appendiculars, therefore it's called appendicular skeleton. It consists of four limbs and it consists of hind limbs. And these actually both fore and hind limbs are connected to axial skeleton with other kind of girdles. They are called pectoral girdle and they are called pelvic girdles. And these pectoral and pelvic girdles are also part of a appendicular skeleton. And all the bones that are present in this appendicular skeleton are total 126 bones. And 126 bones of this one and 80 bones of this one, they combine to make all 206 bones of endoskeleton. How this appendicular skeleton is formed? There is a pectoral girdle in which we say there is a bone which is called clavicle bone that connects to sternum right from front, and it connects to scapula to another end. And a scapula is a broad bone that's present on back side. That bone is called scapula, and this scapula right from front side connects to a clavicle, and they actually make a girdle. That girdle is called pectoral girdle. Now these two bones are pectoral girdles on one end and two bones on another side. These make total 4 bones of pectoral girdles. And these pectoral girdles give attachment to this appendix, to these moving parts of a skeleton, appendicular skeleton. And these moving parts, actually this arm or forelimb has different kinds of bones. It forms a joint that is called ball and socket joint that's formed with the hair at an pectoral girdle. And this ball and socket joint is formed by the bone of a forelimb. This bone is said to be a humerus. And humerus forms a joint here, which is a hinge joint by a type called elbow joint also. And in this region there are 2 bones. One is called radius and the other is called ulna. These bones are called radius and ulna. And right at the wrist of our hands there are bones present. These are called 8 in number. They are called carpals. And then in our palms there are bones present. They are called metacarpals. And finally in our fingers there are 2 in thumb and rest. All fingers have 3 bones. These are called phalanges. So these are carpals are 8 in number. These metacarpals are 5 in number. And phalanges are total 14 in number. They make a limb which is said to be forelimb or a arm. Total 30 bones are present in one arm and 30 bones are present in another arm. They total make 60 bones that are only present in our 4 limbs. Similarly, there is another girdle that's called pelvic girdle, which is formed when sacrum fuses with ilium and the other bones of the coxa that form a girdle that's called pelvic girdle. Actually, pelvic girdle is formed by 2 bones, 2 coxa bones. And each coxa bone is actually a fusion of 3 bones. It's fusion of ilium, right, that attaches to sacrum. And there is another bone that's called ischium bone, which actually is a bone that helps us to sit. And there is another bone that connects from front side that's called pubis bone. So on each side there is ilium, there is ischium and there is pubis bone. These 3 combine to make one coxa. And coxa from one side and coxa from another side, they make a girdle, and that girdle is said to be pelvic girdle. And this pelvic girdle is a girdle which gives attachment to our hind limbs. At a joint, we have this ilium and these ischiums and pubis are joining with each other. Here, the hind limb attaches to ilium. This is a structure that is helping you to understand how the bones are present in a hind limb. In a hind limb, see, this is called ilium. Ilium forms a cavity. That cavity is called socket. And in that socket, the head of the largest bone of body, femur, gets attached. This is called femur. This is the largest bone of our body. This is called femur. And the head of the femur gets attached to a structure of ilium. And This femur then extends to form the other structure of a hind limb. But it is actually to be understood that this is called ilium, ischium and pubis. Ilium, ischium and pubis. One coxa and another coxa. These two coxa make a pelvic girdle. Actually, these two pubis bones on both sides are finally forming a cartilaginous structure, a fibrous structure that is arising from the adjacent side of this bone, pubis bone, and it is also rising from the adjacent side of this pubis bone. These two pubis bones grow, and at the center they form a cavity, they form a structure which is a fusion of these two bones. That is a cartilaginous structure here. That is a kind of growth to which we say physis. And this physis is actually fusing two pubis bones, that is called symphysis. This central region of a cartilaginous structure which is actually connecting these two pubis bones is called symphysis. And then if we move to the limbs and the bones of the limbs, so we said it's called ilium, and in ilium it is attachment of femur, and femur's head is attached to a structure of a socket that is formed by ilium. Femur extends onward, it forms another joint right here. It is another example of knee joint or hinge joint. This is a joint at which there is another bone present that is called patella, and that patella is protecting, that can help in a movement of this joint also. A small spherical bone present called patella. And down to the structure of limb, there are two bones that are present in this region, and these bones are said to be tibia and fibula. And tibia fibula are present in the lower region of a hind limb. And by the wrist, by the ankle, there are bones present. These bones are called, there are 7 in number, and these bones are called tarsals. And then in the palm of a foot, there are bones present. These bones are called metatarsals. And finally, in the fingers of a foot, there are bones present. These are called phalanges, and they are 14 in number. All these bones, femur, patella, tibia and fibula, and this is called tarsals, metatarsals and phalanges, they all join to make a skeleton, a part of a skeleton, a part of a appendicular skeleton. It is called hind limb. And this hind limb has 30 bones, and other limb will also have a 30 bone, and 30 will count total 60 bones. And with these all 60 bones, you will have to count 2 bones of the coxa also. So that will also make a total number of 126 bones of a appendicular skeleton. Where if 60 bones are present in these 4 limbs, and 60 bones are present in hind limbs, and 60 plus 60 counts total 120 bones. And the rest 6 bones includes 4 bones of pectoral girdle, 2 on each side, 2 bones on one side and 2 bones on another side. These are total 4 pectoral bones and 2 bones of coxa. They count total 6 bones. 120 bones of length and 6 bones of these girdles count total 126 bones. And with these 126 bones, if you count 80 bones of axial skeleton, that includes head region, which includes the skull, facial, ossicle and hyoid bone, and it includes vertebral column, and it includes thoracic cavity, and that counts all 80 bones. That counts all 206 bones of a endoskeleton. This is just a single video explaining all 206 bones of a endoskeleton.